Question number 31. Consider the following pseudocode segment with the given array structure to select the correct answer. So they have given you the array structure over here. So the array name is num and the indexes are starting from 0 up to 9. So the array which called num is capable of containing 10 items inside the array. So the code is given here. It's kind of a pseudocode. So it says after executing the pseudocode segment, what are the values appeared in num4 and num7 respectively. Okay, so let's see how this is going to be. So it's the for loop that they have used. So they are starting from n equals 0 to 9. So for loop is working with the variable of the for loop, increasing one by one at an iteration. So like n will start in 0 at the very initial place and goes up to until 9. And inside the for loop it says num n equals n plus 2. That's the only statement that we have to execute, right? Okay, so let's do the hand tracing and see how this is going to happen. So the variable of the for loop is n. It starts from the 0 and it says num n. Num n means num 0 for this time equals n plus 2. So 0 plus 2, that means 2. So num 0, that means the 0th element of the num array is need to be replaced with 0 plus 2. That means 2. So according to that, this will filled with 2. Then it says next n. So value of the n is 0 for the moment. So next n means the 1. Then again in the 1, what they are saying is num1, n is 1 this time, equals n plus 2. So 1 plus 2, which is 3. So that means num1, which is this position, filled with 3 and goes with next n. So next n means num2. So num, when it is become next n, n becomes 2. So now it is num2 equals 2 plus 2, which is equals to 4. Right, so the second position of the num value is going to fill with 4. So now you can identify the pattern how it's going on. So when any particular value is going with the n, the array will be filled with the value of with the value which is more than 2 than the value of n, right? So if the value of num is 3, the num3 is going to be 3 plus 2, 5. If the value of num is 4, num4 is going to be 4 plus 2, which is 6. So likewise, this is going to be filled like this until the last element. So in the last element, it comes as num9 equals 9 plus 2, which is 11, which we have taken correctly, right? So in the question, they are asking what would be the values for num4, that means over here, and num7, that means over here. So the values are going to be 6 and 9. So the answer is going to be the second one. (32) Following Pascal code is written to allow the user to enter any 10 values less than 100. It will get the total of all the entered values. When the user enters a negative value or a value greater than 100, process will be terminated. So that's something for you to be very careful. So it says when the user enters a negative value or a value greater than 100, process will be terminated. So the process need to be terminated. So they are asking what is the suitable replacement for label A. So even though it is indicated in capitals over here, in the code it's indicated in symbol. So somehow they are asking what's the condition that should be comes for the A. And under the if condition, they have used something called break, and the purpose of the break is given in this comment, will end the while loop. So that means it's going to affect this particular while loop when it reaches the statement break, right? And the condition for the if can be easily guessed with this particular line: negative value or a value greater than 100, process will be terminated, right? So it is, they are like doing this for 10 values. So they are starting the variable called x from 1, and they are increasing the x by 1 at the end of each iteration, and they check always whether x is less than or equals 10. So that means starting x by 1 and will continue up to the 10. So 10 times the iteration will happen, right, from x is 1 until the x is 10. So in each iteration they will ask for a number, they will read the number, and they have to check this condition whether it is a negative value or greater than 100. So if so, the process should be terminated. So the question says this break will end the while loop. That means terminate the while loop. Terminating the while loop means terminating the codes from here to here. This is the one which belongs to the while loop. So if we terminate the while loop, then we got only the end line over here. That means the program is going to be end. So with that, the if condition should be match this particular situation. So it needs to check the value is either less than 0 or larger than 100, right? So they are reading the user entered value into the variable called num. So in the position A, they have to check this num less than 0 or larger than 100. So the answer should come as the second one, num less than 0 or num larger than 100. First one is wrong because if word is there, because in the code the if is there, so we don't need if again. And third one is wrong because equal signs are used, right? And fourth one is wrong because this says larger than 101. It's not larger than 101, should be greater than 100, right? So second one is going to be the answer for this question. What is the stage of the system development life cycle where the system is updated as necessary? So if the system is updated as necessary, it is not the requirement analysis or the design, neither the testing, right? So it's definitely goes with the maintenance part. So small updations, so necessary updations will be happen. So if any new particular part needs to be added into the system, then the SDLC should be goes from the beginning until the end as another new development. So the updations can be carried out in the maintenance phase. So the third one is going to be the answer. 34th. Following are different testing requirements under testing stage in system development life cycle. Statement A is talking about evaluates the entire system as a whole to ensure it meets specific requirements. Statement B says validate whether the system meets their business needs and requirement by end users. So select the answer which contains the correct requirement testing types for above A and B respectively. So they are talking about some testing methods. In statement A and B, we have to recognize which type of the testing that they are doing. So in the statement A, when it says evaluate the entire system as a whole to ensure it meets the specified requirements. And in the B, it says validate whether the system meets their business needs and requirements by the end users. So if a test is done by the end users, definitely it's going to be the acceptance test. So the answer third one is disqualified because it says the component testing for B. Answer fourth is going to be disqualified because it says white box testing. So the acceptance testing is going to be the part B, and since the entire system is tested, the statement A is talking about system testing, not the unit testing. So because of the unit testing, number 2 is disqualified. So the answer is going to be the first one. 35. Which of the following is a benefit of cloud computing? It says decrease accessibility, increase infrastructure management, collaborate workspace, limited storage capacity. So they are asking a benefit. Now, decrease accessibility. So like due to some particular technical issues, sometimes cloud computing will be having limited access or maybe no access with regard into the internet connection. So decrease accessibility is not going to be a benefit. And increase infrastructure management. If the infrastructure management is increased, it's not going to be a benefit. And again, cloud computing is not increase in your infrastructure management, it is actually decrease in your infrastructure management, because like, we don't need to think about the storages, how the things are going to be arranged. So those things are there in the cloud. So we are given the chance to store in the cloud, so we don't need to maintain a local storage at our place. So generally the infrastructure management is decrease, so it's not going to increase. And collaborative workspace is one of the best benefits that we are going to get out of the cloud computing. So everyone can work at the same time on a same component. So the third one can be taken as the benefit. Limited storage capacity. In cloud computing, it's not going to limit the storage capacity. Like, you can increase the storage capacity in many of the cloud computing services, even though it cost you, it's not going to cost you like you are doing it on the local storage. So you can have the storage capacity and you can always access it if you got a good internet connection, right? And when you are having the good internet connection, your accessibility is in a very good way, and the accessibility will be increased when you have a good internet connection, because anyone who with a good internet connection and the credentials, they can log into the cloud computing facility from anywhere at any time in the world, right? So the benefit, if you're talking about the benefit, the answer is given in the third answer, collaborative workspace. So 36, which protocol is commonly used for communication between web servers and web browsers? Which is a very direct one. So web servers and web browsers, they are communicating the hypertext document. So to manage the hypertext communication, we need hypertext transfer protocol. So HTTP is the protocol which manage the communication in between web server and the web browsers. So FTP is talking about file transfer protocols. It is managing the uploading an offline document onto the online space. So then the FTP is take place. File transfer protocol will be take places. SMTP is generally a simple mail transfer transmission protocol, as it says. So it is being used in the email communication to manage that communication. So HTTP is the answer when you are like communication between web server and the web browser. So first one is going to be the answer. 37th, consider following statements. There are 3 statements, and they are asking select the correct statement or statements from the above statements. The statement A says, providing equal access to digital technology for all individuals contribute to bridging the digital divide. Yes, that is a correct statement. To have a digital bridge, we should provide the digital contents, the technology to the people who do not have that thing. So they will get to know about the digital technology, the computing. Then the gap in between, which is created by the digital divide, will be decreased. So the first one is a correct answer. De-skilling is the process of upgrading skills to adapt new technologies, new technological advancement, which is wrong. De-skilling means it is the concept, or it is the process of getting the skill lower, or like forgetting the skill, or like taking off the skills from the people who were used to do it due to the technology involvement, right? So as an example, if you got the painting skills of the motor cars, if that painting is done by a machine hereafter, the people will not be getting the skill of painting a car then for a long time. So at one certain period, there can be no one is there to paint a car by their self, because it is done by the machine for a long time. So that is what we call de-skilling, right? So the skill, since it is not being practiced regularly, that skill is being lost by the mankind. So this is like what the statement B is saying is not de-skilling, so it is wrong. Statement C says, digital bridge is used to increase access to the digital technology for marginalized communities. So it's somewhat true that they are talking about digital bridge is used to increase access to the digital technology for marginalized communities. So if any particular community is like being away, or like being margined, or being separated because that they could not use the digital technologies, digital bridge is the one which can enable, or which can enable the technology to flow into a marginalized communities. So they will use different kind of techniques to do that. So like including the computing as a subject in the syllabus, and like introducing the new technologies to the rural areas and the people who are not very much aware about it. So those are the concepts which is in the digital bridge. So digital bridge as a whole is talking about how to decrease the digital gap, right? So then when the gap is being reduced, that means the digital bridge has been established. So what they are saying in the C is true. Digital bridge is used to increase access to the digital technologies. Yeah, it is one of the aspects. So that is correct. So the correct answer is going to be A and C, which is the second one. 38. What ergonomic adjustment can help reduce the risk of eye strain when using a computer? Yeah, so like there are several different problems in the there are several different problems are there when it is being accessed. '38, it is talking about what ergonomic adjustment can help reduce the risk of eye strain when using a computer. So there can be several different problems when you are using the computer in an incorrect manner, right, without having good ergonomics. So they are here they are specifically talking about the risk of the eye strains. So the numbers of the answers are being changed here, so you better go with Roman number 1, Roman number 2, Roman number 3, and Roman number 4 instead of these things. So the Roman number 1, the first choice is given: increase screen brightness, which is not going to help you, which actually increase the risk of eye strain, because when the brightness is more in your screen, it is not very easy for us to see, and it's a very big strain which is created by the screen. So this is not going to be an answer. Decrease in the font size. Decrease in the font size is going to give you a eye strain again, because you can't see the font size properly when it is being decreased. So you have to play hard on your eye to recognize the fonts. So it is not going to reduce the risk of eye strain. And the Roman number 3 says adjusting screen position to eye level, which actually going to give you a chance, or like the some particular help to reduce the risk of eye strain. So the it is, since it is on the eye level, and when it is like somewhat away from your eyes, the eyes will be on the relaxed position. So third one can be taken as a most suitable answer. Using a chair with no back support, definitely it's going to give you problems, but it will not help to reduce the risk of eye strain. So if you're using a chair with no back supports, it's going to damage your muscles at the back, right? So which is not going to reduce the risk of eye strain. So most suitable answer is going to be the third. 39, consider the following statements, and the question that they are asking is: select the answer which contains potential merit or merits of integrating CAD and CAM systems in the manufacturing process. So CAD means computer aided design, CAM means computer aided manufacturing, right? So designing and manufacturing done with the aid of the computing, right? So they are asking the merits, the benefits. So decrease design accuracy. Actually, when the CAD and CAM is there, the design accuracy will be high. It is not being decreased, it will be increased. So this is not going to be a merit. Reduce time of manufacturing. Yes, that is going to be a merit, because the manufacturing time will be reduced. That means the production will be done in a much efficient manner. Increase manual intervention in the production. When the computing is involved in, manual intervention will be decreased, not going to increase. So increase means it is wrong. Higher material wastage. Higher material wastage, no. Again, it's not going to have higher material wastage when it is being computerized. It will always try to minimize the wastage. So material wastage will be lower, not higher. So in that case, only the B, statement B is correct. So you have to go with the third answer, B only. 40th question: what function of the internet allows user to access and control a computer or a network from a separate geographical location? So this is talking about like your computer or your network is in one particular place, and you or the controller is in some other place. Geographically they are distant. So if geographically distance, then to access any particular computer or network, we need a remote access. So it's the remote access that we will be using to manage or the control the computer or a network. So the answer is going to be the remote access. File sharing is one of the services of the internet, but it is not talking about remote accessing. Cloud computing is something like we are accessing the things that we have saved in the cloud, and we are just using the cloud facilities. But the cloud computing will not give you the chance to control a computer or a network. So it's not going to be an answer. Streaming of media is never going to be the answer, because streaming of media is some other concept where they are going to store the media on one particular place and share in it to be accessed by any particular person through that streaming media. So the suitable answer is going to be the second one for the 40th.